Be yourself. Because when you try to be anything different, when you try to cover your horns, when you try to be something different than you are, when you try to go against your true nature, it's going to suffocate you inside, and it's not what you're born to be. So whether the world can handle it or not, it's not your problem. Be yourself. When we become a mother, we go through things in our first film is you go through things, you harden, life hurts you, and you lose yourself. And a child helps bring back this love and understanding of yourself, and you return to your softness in a very different way.
How do you deal with haters?
Well, I suppose you try to ignore, you try not to see or read, good or bad. I think there was a lesson when I was very young starting in this business. You don't believe the good. If they praise you and say you're amazing, you don't take it too seriously, and they tell you you're terrible, you don't take it too seriously. You just try to know your own truth, be the best you can be, and know that a lot of hate comes from their own darkness, their own insecurity, or their own pain. It's not really about you, of course. Never is.
Still the same person. I just have such a I have I think I was always quite lost in not having a sense of purpose. I think to be an actor is a nice thing, and you could tell good stories, but I think to know that you're useful just as a human being with your own hands, willing to, just be out there with real people, talking to families, being amongst people like the people in aid relief who really are these amazing human beings, and learning about the world and it's just, if it's you're useful, you're a part of real life.
Then I'll be supporting them, and everything I do, I hope, is that I represent something, and I represent the right things to my children and give them the right sense of what they're capable of, and the world as it should be seen, not through the prism of Hollywood or through a certain kind of life, but really take them into the world where they have a really good sense and become rounded people.
I think we really can't afford not to have hope.
I don't believe in some kind of life path that somebody has, or that you're destined to be I don't believe that, but I do believe that when you are being exactly true to yourself, certain things happen that are just the most amazing. That led me to start my family, led me to make very strong decisions that would take my life into different direction.
I think the greatest love is if you can find somebody that opens your eyes and makes you a better person and inspires you to do better things with your life, and that's a great love. Somebody that doesn't just accept you as you are, but helps you to.
When you know that your kids love each other, and you see the way they all, without any kind of prompting or pushing, give each other notes, hug each other, take care of each other, support each other, then you feel like they're going to be okay, and they're going to always have each other.
When I've gone to refugee camps, or I've gone to places to meet earthquake victims, it is certainly not some big sacrifice of mine.
Their mind matters more than their outward appearance. Kindness, yes, of course, but that they need to know themselves and sharpen their mind and educate themselves and really value the chance that they get for an education, because a lot of girls don't.
And I see it, and I see it rising, and the only thing I can do is to use my voice and encourage others and raise my children to know right and wrong, and to have a broad view of the world, and to embrace their diversity and other people's, and respect others. And I think that's all we can do now, is each and every person, each one of your listeners, we all just have to be the best of ourselves. If not now more than ever, we really have to rise up and find our rational center, our who are we and what do we stand for, and we know it. We know what's right and wrong.
But if there was anything that you could say to your younger self, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
You have to make all the mistakes, you have to go through everything, you have to just, because everything somehow leads to something else, and it's you. So I would just hang on. That's what I would say to my younger self. Just hang on.
Strap yourself
hang
in.
on.
It'll be okay.
You're gonna love being a mom.
Okay.
Aww.
Family is earned. Family is through loyalty and shared values. We can have all of our broken parts and still be good, great, capable people who are doing what we believe is important. So
It changed me completely. It changed me just to, I just realized how fortunate I was and how stupid I'd been for ever being self-destructive, or wanting for more, or not understanding how grateful I should be just that I know where my family is and they're alive and my child's healthy, and you know, we forget those things all the time, and just a sense of purpose and responsibility. And I realized I'd become the person that was always going to make everything okay.
Right.
Not the person that worries, that's dramatic, that's upset, that I'd spent my whole life being kind of in that darker space.
I mean, I think what's risky is living your life and never trying for anything, and never doing something brave, and never getting yourself scared.
I think when love is right, it's a good kind of pain. It's a pain where your heart is stretching, your feelings are stretching. The loss, when the greater the love, the greater the loss is true.
There is no disgrace in being a survivor of sexual violence, that the shame is on the aggressor.
There's so much hate these days. There's so much discomfort with people from other countries that we don't know and people that are foreign to us. And I think to remind everybody to be open to why people flee, why people cross the border. It's not just for economic reasons. Some people are really running for their lives and have been through horrific things and are really willing to work hard in a new country and try to just be good citizens and have a good life. And so,
well, we all have times in our lives where we feel broken. When my mom passed away, I did want it. It's part of something that when you feel like you just want to kind of hide under the covers, or you're not sure what you've got left in you, you get an opportunity, and I would encourage anybody to do it. You're not a film actor, doesn't matter. Go somewhere, see what you got in you, put yourself against the elements, or try something you've never tried, and kind of try to rediscover that strength within. It doesn't always end well because maybe one kind of love is mistaken for another.
There's that fire in all of us, and so often when you're young or at different times in your life, you think that there's something wrong with that. It's a bad thing because it's misdirected, and you don't know if you're a good person, and you don't know what you're contributing. You feel like, and that it is that fight and that fire and that little bit of trouble that, if directed in the right way, it can be a force for good and brave and wonderful. And I think that's and I say that to my kids if they get in trouble because they've done something and they feel like they did something wrong and bad, that there is a right and a wrong, but it's also not to feel like they're bad, and it's fire, like Louis has fire.
Does anything scare you?
Inertia, you know. I mean, I would think being, feeling like I was incapable of doing something, feeling useless. Feeling like I wasn't communicating with people, feeling like, you know, like if I had been working and doing films and people did not respond and I wasn't making any sense and I was off track and there was no use to my life. It scares me to feel